I feel like for so long, I thought that faith meant that I needed to have things figured out and that I could only feel safe in doing and having those things. And to be honest with you, I've been very vocal about this. My life has been doing a complete like 180. And a lot of things have been changing because I myself have been changing as a whole. I'm not doing the same things like I used to, blah, blah, blah. Like we've talked about that before. And one of the things that I've been really challenged in has been my inner child's ability to continue to believe, especially when it feels like nothing's happening. When you're that in that liminal space or that in between stage where you're not the old version of yourself, but the new version of you hasn't fully like arrived yet or integrated. And it feels like I'm constantly naked. And that's what it feels like, honestly. So, hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. I want to encourage you guys to subscribe more and more. We are building and growing this community, which is so exciting. So, make sure to hit that like button, that share button, and most importantly, that subscribe button so you can be a part of these videos when they come out weekly. So, growing up, I feel like a lot of me was indoctrinated to produce. And I've also been very outspoken about that. I feel like I've been outspoken about how being an elite gymnast or an elite athlete and coming from family who, they're immigrants and needing to work a lot and needing to produce has become very much a part of my inner core. And there's something that my ego really enjoys about that, right? Like the need to prove, the need to strive. And something I sat with recently is there's a core belief inside of myself that I can't trust or have faith or things won't work themselves out unless I actively push, pursue, prove. And it's not safe for me to like kind of like slow down and enjoy. And in doing that, I feel like I've been stressing myself out because there is all these responsibilities and there's all these like animals I want to feed in a way. Some can be like my social life, but then also like my professional life, but then also my spiritual life, but then also my family life, my relationship life, me life, all of these things, right? I want to take care of. But honestly, recently, I've been feeling not only am I being put to question when it comes to faith because I feel like underneath the surface nothing's working out, kind of sort of speak, but I also feel like I'm not having a lot of fun or I could be having more fun. I could be cultivating more joy and I'm not. And I feel like it's because I'm restricting myself and feeling like I have to get these things done. Mind you, there are responsibilities that do have to get done. The bills got to get paid. The paid bills are bills, okay? And at the same time, I feel like back in the day, I used to cultivate more relaxation, more play. And it's difficult because since I'm going through this transition, and also I hope all of this is making sense, by the way, because I feel like I'm still processing this as we speak and I'm still like sitting with it. But I feel like as I'm changing, so are my self regulation practices. And to be completely honest with you guys, I've been feeling very dysregulated probably for the past month, just because, like I said, I feel like there's so many responsibilities, so many like internal fears that I'm moving through that I'm like allowing to kind of come up, but not necessarily reacting on those, or at least doing my best. Okay, not perfect. We're still working on it. Doing my best not to react on. And again, it goes back to faith. I've noticed since I was a child that if I don't feel safe, my go to is produce, 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 produce in order to feel safe. When really it does the complete opposite of that, right? It makes me feel more unhinged, more unsafe, more ungrounded as we speak. So I've realized that back in the day, I used to have a lot of regulation. I mean, that's why I started this journey in the first place, you guys. It wasn't because I wanted to be perfect. It was because I was so dysregulated for so long that I found a sense of safety in meditation and journaling and walking and yoga and these practices that did help elevate me and also ground me at the same time. And I still have those. But I'm going to be honest with you. I just feel like I've evolved past certain things. There are new ways in which I regulate that were not like the ones before. Still healthy ways, of course, but it's just very different. And I feel like because I've been so indoctrinated to produce and that discipline and that kind of like Saturn energy, that kind of like masculine energy of do, be, like, produce in order to feel validation, in order to feel safety, da 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 da. I don't allow myself the freedom to do new things or to get outside of my comfort zone or to experience pleasure or to experience, creativity, joy. So I've been welcoming that in more. And I think it's so interesting because recently my soul, like it's so interesting because I feel like I have two parts, two versions of myself. One that's like the parent, the one that's like very disciplined. Let's get this done. Like we got to produce, we got to continue to climb this ladder. And then there's this like younger me that's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to do that. I just want to have more joy, more pleasure, more fun, like cultivating that inner childlike wonder. And I restrict myself because I'm so used to being on this side that it's really uncommon to go on this side. So during the midst of this, I've been producing a lot of content and, redefining new things, working, so to speak, and not enjoying more. And last week, I kind of thought to myself and I was like, wow, I'm really bored. I am bored in the sense of like, I'm not finding a lot of inspiration of content, of what to produce. Like, I kind of feel like I've hit a creative block. And one of the realizations is, okay, the reason why this is happening is because I'm not allowing my inner child to actually bloom and to get some rest. And rest isn't always, I'm going to go sleep or I'm going to go meditate or I'm going to do yoga or I'm going to do this and that. Sometimes rest is just doodling. It could be painting. It could be dancing. It could be laughing. Or quite honestly, what I've been doing recently is watching some trash TV and just allowing myself to kind of be in this human experience without escaping it and kind of like balancing that out. And I was feeling last week like a little bit bored and I was like, oh my God, like I need something that will help me come back to my body, to that creativity, to that juiciness for life where I create some of the best things because it comes out of genuine curiosity, genuine inspiration, and aspiration as well. And my inner child, I tuned in because I was like, "Ah, something's going on here. Like I'm feeling so restricted and so like ugh and heavy." And it's not like a depressed heavy or anything like that. It's just more of a heavy, like I want to have more joy. Do you guys ever experience those moments where you're kind of like, I'm so bored with my life? Like I'm ready for something new. Like your soul's like calling for something new, like some adventure, some travel, some like fun, like letting loose, softening that like, stick up the butt kind of situation. Let me know in the comments down below if you've experienced that. But I was experiencing that. I was like, okay, do I like want to travel? Is that what's going on here? Do I like maybe need to do a little more things for myself because I'm getting too caught up in work? And that's like this routine is routining a little too hard. And that's what's creating this restriction and this lack of inspiration. So I sat with myself and I tuned in and I was like, okay, what do you want? like the notebook, what do you want? And then I realized I wanted creativity. I wanted arts. I wanted crafts. I wanted something, even though I love creating content and I find it very therapeutic, when it becomes a full-time job, I feel like it kind of loses its essence. If I'm being honest, like I still love it. I'm going to continue to do this. But if I don't take responsibility and I don't wheel it back and nourish myself, it's not even about recovery. It's active nourishment every single week because of all the outputs I literally put out there or I do. it's very difficult to continue to show up every week. And also, when you're integrating a lot of healing, a lot of shadow work, or just like you're a very highly sensitive person, regulation, nervous system regulation is so important. And that's what I'm understanding more and more. This isn't just, regurgitated ish that you see on social media. This is actually a real thing. A regulated nervous system is what allows you to actually keep producing and feeling alive. Success means nothing to me if I'm not regulated and enjoying my life outside of social media. And again, I'm not saying I don't. I love my life. But in this instant last week, I just felt kind of like I hit a wall at like 100 miles per hour. I was feeling so uninspired and just so bored. And then it started like begging this question of like maybe things aren't working out. So it's very easy to spiral when there's so much going on up here and you don't allow yourself, and then you're also dealing with the guilt of rest. Rest is not productive, or if you don't do more, you're not going to get to point C or D quick enough, or all of these things that I feel like also society does a really good job of like instilling into our brains. It's like, girl, I already got a lot going on up here. The last thing I need is like other people's thoughts in my noggin. So I sat with myself and I was like, oh, I want to do crafts. Like, I want to do something fun, like let loose, something that I don't have to think about or perform for. And again, if you've been following me for a while, you know that my journey has been one of authenticity and not performing anymore. Being very raw, being very authentic. Like, for example, right now, I'm probably going to play this video back and I'm probably going to criticize it, and I'm still going to post it. I'm still going to post it as it is, as raw, because my practice is not perfection. It's sustainability, and it's being very authentic in doing that. And that's not always going to look like perfection. My hair is not always going to be straight, and I'm not always going to be like super energized, and my chakras aren't always going to be perfectly aligned or cleared, because that's just part of it, right? I don't, and that's what I've been trying to reparent my inner child to kind of understand, is that we don't have to be perfect to produce and to be seen and to still be loved and to still be worthy. Like, it's okay to take these things. So I kind of had to like walk myself back this week and even last week through this like turbulent, right? Energetic turbulence, I guess you could say, within myself. And I realized, I'm like, I want to try something new. I want to pick up a new skill, and I want to be good at it. Like, but not out of pressure, just out of joy, curiosity, creativity, like that inner child, that childlike wonder. And I think it's important to also understand, because I didn't understand this for a long time, is your outside world will be just as good as you take care of your inner world, specifically your inner child. Because your inner child is the one that actually runs the show. Yes, it's your higher self too, but it's like your inner child. That's why they say we're cosmic children, right? Like, we're cosmic little children. And that's why the universal laws always say, ask and it is given, or have that childlike curiosity, manifestation, like believe, right? Which believe or believing has been a huge thing for my inner child recently. When you believe something's going to happen, you don't worry and you don't doubt, and you allow yourself to free flow. Therefore, there's more creativity, there's more of these things. But when you restrict and you encapsulate yourself, you feel that drainage. You feel kind of like that scarcity, that fight or flight mode. So again, this week I realized, I'm like, wow, I want to crochet. That's so random, but I'm like, I want to learn how to crochet. Like, I think my inner child thrives. I've always been such a highly creative person. I'm a very artistically inclined person. I'm a kinesthetic person, and I love to do things. So it makes sense that as I align with my highest self and the highest version of myself, that a lot of these self-regulating techniques don't work as much, because before I was doing them. Now I am more embodying them. So I'm not thinking about it. There's no methodical, I'm not performing. It's just a sacred practice between me and myself, or myself and I. And I'm allowing myself to be in this space of just enjoyment. Like, let me crochet. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try. Like, I'm going to figure it out and it's okay. That's what I was telling my inner child. It's like my perfectionistic tendencies kick in. It's like, we got to do it perfect. No, baby, it's okay if it's a mess. Like, this is whole part of this whole experience. It's like I'm investing in crocheting um, because I want to try something new and I want to learn. I want to challenge myself in healthy ways that boost creativity, and also allowing myself to do nothing at all. Like the last previous days, I feel way better now, but because obviously I allowed myself to rest. Duh. Like, look, what? But a couple of days ago, and I kid you not, I'm not gonna lie. You guys already know I'm not gonna lie to you. For the past like 3 days, I actually allowed myself to rest and watch some trash TV. Some trash TV and just like enjoy it. And I was like giggling at the little things and the jokes, and I found it funny and to be able to relax. And I know that this world does a really good job, in this society, not world, this society does a really good job of glamorizing rest. Like, oh, rest is a privilege. No, rest should be a basic necessity. That's a basic. We shouldn't be glamorizing like, oh, rest is a luxury that not many of us have. Maybe you, but that's not the life I'm trying to cultivate. I want to build a life, and that's what I'm so committed to, like so devoted is the word. Like, I am very devoted to nervous system regulation and to really decentralizing this idea that I need to do more in order to be more. I actually feel like the more I am, the more things just flow. And yes, you've heard that before. And I feel like things don't actually start to flood in until they actually sink in and they integrate. And you're in, it's almost like your higher self, your inner child, all of these aspects of yourself kind of align, and they allow you to kind of move forward cohesively. And again, in a world that glamorizes like that rest is so uncommon, it should be more common. And I feel like that's why we see so much dysregulation out there. And there's only so much you could do, especially as a very highly sensitive person, as an empath, whatever you want to categorize it as. It's essential that you self-regulate because you're absorbing so much all the time, all at once. And it's a beautiful thing, but it also can be very consuming and life altering, and honestly kind of depriving us as well. So I feel like that's what I've been going through recently, and like, you know, having faith in the process. And I hope I'm doing a good job explaining this, but the way my brain or my inner child think about it is, we can't relax, we can't experience joy, we can't experience fun until we're finally there, and then we can like experience that, and then I'm safe enough to do that, and then I can do that and actually allow myself to relax and enjoy and feel joy and pleasure and creativity, when really it's the opposite. I can't get to where I want to be if I don't experience joy and pleasure now and nourish myself and nurture myself. And I'm going to be honest, I've been holding myself accountable because I haven't been doing that much lately. I feel like when you grow up feeling like it's your responsibility to take care of people so much, and your output, and you're so used to do and do to keep it pushing, it could be very, difficult to kind of turn that off and be like, okay, I'm going to nurture myself. I have way too much going on right now in my life. I'm not going to take any more on, and that's okay. Doesn't make me a bad person. It just makes me human, and I'm allowed to experience those emotions, and I'm allowed to place those boundaries where I feel like those boundaries need to be placed, obviously. So it's been sitting with that. And also, like, another thing is, I don't know how some people do it out there. They have a full time job in that outside world, right? And they're like a 9 to 5. They have a whole family. They got kids. They got a dog. They got a house. Like, that's a lot. And I feel like we don't talk about how intense that can be. So if you are experiencing this, all to say, is don't be so hard on yourself. I feel like we tend to be so hard and so difficult. Like, oh, I'll be happy when this is working out. But real faith happens not when things are perfect. Because it's easy then to have faith. Like, yeah, everything's working out. God's got my back. The universe got my back. Awesome. Real faith is cultivated in the unknown, where things are not necessarily working out, where when you can't necessarily see the way forward, yet you're trusting in that inner light and that there is a cosmic source that's always guiding you and taking care of you. And that's the real testament of faith. So it's easy to say, oh, yeah, I have faith that things are going to work out and I keep putting good and it's going to come back to me. But then you're like not necessarily seeing that. Whereas real faith happens when you know you're not seeing it yet. It takes a little bit for your reality to catch up to your energy, but you're still trusting and you're not wavering. And I think that that's what I've been feeling recently is this will come when this is calm. This will come when this is calm. So my responsibility is me. It will always be my nervous system. It will always be my inner child. And as I keep that happy, it'll be like a well of never ending supply because there'll be a lot of energy in there to which I can give. And it's normal also to experience this because we're in a world where we glamorize so much giving from an empty cup, but that's not the reality. And that can only get you so far, too, by the way. So I've just been sitting with that and my thoughts and processing and allowing and kind of letting myself be in this moment. And instead of just always thinking like there's gotta be more, like I gotta produce more. Well, maybe where I'm meant to be right now is here. And this is why my inner child feels so restricted because she's like, girl, we've done so much work. Can I just enjoy? Can I like imagine having a child restricted in a classroom all the time? And it's like learn, 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 learn. Like maybe this chapter of your journey is not about healing more or healing your inner child more or teaching it more or restricting it more. Maybe it's just about having fun and allowing her, him, they, them to enjoy life and to just let loose. It doesn't have to be that serious because at the end of the day, none of us are going to get out alive anyways. So it's like, might as well make fun and be whimsy. That's what seems to be missing from my life lately. It's like the whimsy, the cutesy, the having fun, the carelessness that a child has. Because truth be told, that's the greatest thing about children is that they have this curiosity, this ability to live in the moment and be curious and be hungry and be spontaneous and allow and have faith. That's pretty much what it is. So if you find yourself in a season right now where all of this is resonating and you feel this like to your core, you're not alone. I feel like there's very much this collective energy of returning back to childlike wonder and having faith. And having faith is also enjoyment. It's knowing that you're safe enough, that it is safe enough for you to enjoy this moment and not escape it, not bypass it, not speed it up. Just enjoy it, be in it, and allow it to replenish you and to nurture you. Because there's also something so beautiful about sacred play and enjoyment and whimsy and fun and light and airiness. It doesn't always have to be so heavy. I feel like on this spiritual journey, we tend to make it so heavy sometimes because it does feel like that. And that is part of it as well. And it's also okay to encourage joy and sacred play and sacred creation and rest. That's the most important thing, rest and recovery. So if you find yourself in this season of life, just know you're not alone. This is happening to me too, which is why I'm sharing it with you. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Let me know in the comments down below if you're experiencing this. Like, what makes your inner child feel alive? Are you also experiencing this? Do you feel sometimes like, whoa, I feel like I want to do something fun, like something, but it's not necessarily travel, but it's not outside of myself. It's inside of me, but it does entail me doing something in the outside. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd be interested to kind of hear your thoughts and see what that's like. And per usual, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. Thank you for holding the space for me. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, or even comment. It really does help It helps me also see that you guys are here, that you guys are present, that we're building a community, and it really does help me and the work that I do. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye.